CCNA security, network security, firewalls. If you're watching my training, I assume you know how firewalls work. We are not going to talk about SPI, access lists, and things like that. You should know all these things. What I want to discuss is what we mean by a firewall today, because it has changed in the last 10 years. 10 years ago, a firewall was just a device that was designed to block access from the internet, right? You wanted to make sure that nobody could access your network from the outside world. That's all you wanted to achieve. That was, of course, we had NATs and a firewall. That was the main reason for having a firewall. You wanted to protect your network. Nobody was allowed to access your network, and that was the main reason for that. Today, that is a picture I took from CyberRoam. They have a really nice website where they describe all next generation firewalls. You can see I like it because that is the OSI model. I'm pretty sure you know it. And there is, let me just change the pen. Okay. There is layer 8 here, right? There is layer 8. Do we have the layer 8? Do we have a layer like that in the OSI? Of course we don't. But, and it's really funny, not sure if you heard, sometimes network engineers say, well, that was a layer 8 issue. You know what that means? Well, a user was really stupid and he did something that he should not. And that's what a lot of vendors use to describe that a firewall, a UTM device in most cases, is a layer 8 firewall. It means it is aware of things that a user does every day. User identity based security policy solutions as well. That's a name for it as well. I like to mention that because when you look at some Cisco solutions, you will struggle to find a device that can match things that CyberRoam or Zyzo or SonicWall, things like that can do. And it is enough to browse, and for companies like that, it's very easy to match and in a way compete with Cisco because, you know, SonicWall is faster, there are more features, and, you know, it's cheaper. It's pretty easy for them to create a nice graph and say, oh, we are better, Cisco. Okay, can you create a policy like that on a Cisco firewall? Let's say I want to allow you access to Skype, Facebook.com, and peer-to-peer applications tomorrow between 8 and 10 p.m. and you are allowed to download 10 megabytes. And the answer is it possible? Maybe if you spend 2 weeks doing that, maybe, and probably you will struggle to implement a feature like that. Why? Well, because an ASA firewall was not really designed to do that, and that is something that we have to understand. That Cisco, they, you know, for many years, Cisco, they were not really interested in, you know, their main focus is on enterprise networks, right? They want to sell you a 6500 switch. Of course, they have 881, they have ASA 5505, but that's not their main focus. And I can see that clearly when I look at the new ASA 5500X. There is no firewall 5505X, right? There is no firewall like that. Well, maybe you're watching it now and you say, oh yeah, of course there is. Well, when they introduced 5500X, there was no replacement for 5505. and that indicates that Cisco, their main focus is on enterprise big networks. Okay, that's where the money is, right? Is it a good strategy? Well, I could argue with that because it allows companies like CyberOhm, Zyzo, SonicWall, WatchGuard to to convince people. Okay, can your ASA do this or that? Okay, do you have an IPS on ASA? Well, it's end of life now, mate. You can't even get it from Cisco, and even if you could, it is like £2,000. You get it from our company just with a license. Of course, that discussion is about firewalls, and for many companies, a reliable device is the most important thing, and you can't argue with that. ASA, firewalls, for instance, of course, they can struggle, and you can struggle to implement a feature that I described. Still, it is a very, very reliable device. You set it up, you leave it alone, 2 years, it's up and running. I could argue that all other vendors could achieve that. That's what you get when you buy Cisco. And again, it's I can argue that ASA 5505 should have more features. I think it should be a small UTM device. I hope Cisco will realize that. And of course, they have some devices like that, but they're for small office, home office. I mean, an ASA firewall, because there are some firewalls that SA family that you can buy, but for me it's not a real firewall. Sorry, Cisco. What I mean is I really want to see 5505X as a UTM device with all these features, with a nice web interface, a layer 8 user identity based firewall. I hope Cisco will do that. For now, you should know where ASA fits, okay, and where CyberOhm firewalls fit, where you can put them. It's again, it's very easy, and when I was preparing for this lecture, and it was very easy for me to find hundreds of posts and websites on the internet where people say, oh, our firewall is 500% faster than ASA. Can your ASA do this or that? No. Oh, our firewall can do that. Okay, a question is, can your firewall, your uptime, the uptime of your firewall be 5 years? Okay, can you show me a picture like that? Because I can show you hundreds of pictures like that. Still, I think that I like to discuss that because that's where we're going, okay? And I'm pretty sure that if I watch my own video, this one, in 5 years, I'm pretty sure I will say, yes, I was right. There is a real UTM device from Cisco, ASA 5505XYZ, whatever name, or maybe 5506, yeah? A real UTM device with built-in IPS, antivirus, spam protection, web-based interface, but real iOS, right? Or it's an ASA firewall. I'm pretty sure that's where we're going, and that's what you should focus on as well. Please remember that small office, home office companies, they need a firewall like that, okay? They need features like that. It's not acceptable anymore that, well, what do you mean I cannot block Facebook with one click? What do you mean I cannot apply a basic QoS for my Skype traffic? Okay, we need all these things. And please remember that when you buy a Cisco device, I'm talking about the ASAs, it's a little easier on routers, where you have, for instance, NBAR, network-based application recognition. You can argue if it's a perfect solution, but that's another story. Still, you should remember that ASA or PICs, please go back 5-6 years. Remember, 5-6 years ago, PICs was just a very basic firewall, okay? And now people, what do you expect an ASA to be an all-in-one device? And my answer is yes. I would expect to see that. And I hope Cisco will realize that and create a real ASA UTM device with all built-in solutions with an easy web interface that I could use. I decided to record this video because you can find layer 8 firewalls and the next generation firewalls everywhere. It's CyberRoam, Palo Alto, Checkpoint, SonicWall, WatchGuard, it's everywhere. And every time they compare their products against Cisco, it's very easy for them. Yeah, sorry Cisco. It's like, you know, when you look at these graphs, it's just, okay, everything is better than Cisco. But at the end of the day, people buy Cisco because it is a reliable solution. And if you have enough money, you can match all these features. Of course, it's much more expensive, but you can make it happen. Thank you very much.